Hi guys, this is OggyFiveO, and what we've got today is a quick review of the new Xbox One Scuf ONE Controller. As you can see, I've gone for the Stealth one, which is in grey. I didn't really fancy one of the bright colours. I did think about the white, but for some reason I sort of went for the Stealth grey look. If you're wondering what the green thing is, that's just the Xbox One control freak that I've got on. When you look at the Scuf controllers, you'll probably tell that there's not that much difference between a normal controller, because if I just sort of pan out a little bit, again, if the quality is a little bit funny, it's because I'm actually using my Samsung phone to record this. So, obviously there's the Xbox One, and there's the Scuf One. Totally identical, apart from one's black and obviously one's grey. It's only when you turn them over, and obviously there's the back of the normal Xbox One controller, but then you turn over the back of the Scuf, and that's where the magic happens. Normal Xbox, Scuf One. I've gone for the Scuf Grip, which is like a military grade basis sort of. It's like a rubberized paint, and obviously because the Xbox One, it is quite slippy. You know, I'd have trouble after a few gaming sessions with my hand slipping off it, whatever else. But with the Scuf One, if you pay the extra £10 or $10. You get this sort of rubberized matte paint, which is very, very grippy. And the two main things obviously noticing now is the paddles that it has on the back. Obviously Scufs are famous for, and this is what a Scuf is, it's basically the A as standard. Obviously if you want to change them up, you have to pay a little bit extra. But as standard, it's the A and the B button are the paddles on the back. Same as the old Xbox 360 Scuf. So basically that's your, let's have a look, yeah. That's your drop shot, and then that's your jump shot. As soon as you hold the controller with your finger just underneath there, look, that's where you get the jump action. Using the Scuf doesn't happen overnight. You know, you're not going to pick it up and start jump shotting and drop shotting everybody that you see. It does take a while to get used to it. It's not an automatic thing, because you've still got to make this finger move while you're still sort of moving around and shooting. I know people like to use the claw, but all I can say with this is later on in life, you're gonna have a really, really bad right finger. Using the claw is fine, but later in life, yeah, I think it's carpal tunnel, I think it's called. Another good feature of the Scuf, apart from the grip and the paddles, is if you look at this sort of stroke with the normal Xbox One controller, you have like full stroke all the way down to the bottom. What Scufs have are what known as trigger stops and sort of hair trigger extensions. No, not hair trigger extensions. Basically, like little groups. As you can see, this one sits a little bit further down. That's it. That is the full movement of that trigger, and that is all due with the actual trigger stop. See, I can't force it down no more. That is it. So when you're sort of using stuff like semi-automatic weapons, rather than having to do a full stroke trigger all the way down, you know, the big action, there. With this, it's just very quick, slight little taps like that, that's all it is. But what I'm going to do now is sort of show the old Xbox 360 Scuf, which is, there's my old 361. Again, I've got the identical control freak on, that's obviously a little bit bigger because it's a 360. And then over the back, there's the old Scuf paddles. But what you can see is there the trigger stops. Sorry, the trigger stops, the little grub screws at the end. And you can see there, it's like minimum movement, but it's these little stops that basically, oh, it's phone's bloody crap, that try and obviously stop the trigger from going down. And then what you've got on top is these little Allen key holes there. They're the ones that basically can make your trigger come up or come down. So for Call of Duty, for example, might have different settings to SOCOM Navy SEALs or to Titanfall, for example. So game by game, you have to adjust these triggers. So my 360 setup, the minute I put slight pressure on top of that trigger, I ADS or I start to fire straight away with literally the slightest tap. I haven't really got it set like that on the Xbox One. For some reason, it just feels a little bit more fragile. As you can see, there's no trigger stops, because what they've done, which is quite a clever design, is they've built the trigger stops inside the actual controller. So what I'm going to do now, so rather than the old style, obviously grub screws and then the little aluminium, so the little Allen key nut on top, is I'm just going to quickly do a bit of magic with the phone and I'll show you what I mean inside. Right, and with the wonders of magic, basically what you do is you have to remove the corner grip, so the piece there, and say Scuf do provide quite a handy little sort of prizing tool, where you basically go inside the sort of corner of the grip, and that's how you prize out the corner parts. Another thing you get is a little torque screwdriver, and then the infamous tiny little Allen key. There you go. So what we've got is the actual trigger stop mechanism is just a little screw there. Again, this phone's crap. That's a bit better. The little screw there, and you've got like a little padded stop. What that padded stop does is that's the bit, that's better, that stops the trigger going all the way down. You can remove this screw, obviously with the little torque screwdriver. You can take the screw out, remove this plastic bit, and then put the screw back in, and then that will give you full motion again back of that trigger. And also the little aluminium bit is just there. That's the bit that heightens, that raises and lowers the trigger. So depending what first person shooter game you're playing is where you get that optimal biting point, is probably a good way of putting it, for where you ADS and fire, just by lightly touching the top of that. I don't know, for some person, for me, this feels, or especially the grub screw there to make it feels a little bit delicate. The 360 version felt as if I could throw it against a wall and I'd do no damage to it. This one, even though it looks very nice, it's all concealed inside, I don't know, it just feels like if I were to unscrew that anymore, the little grub screw inside, just there, it'll drop out. I don't know, that's odd. I can't have this set is what I had my 360 version set on. But anyway, I am still getting used to it. The jump shot parts, I think it's just the way that, I think because this thumb's a little bit lower down, your sort of hand sits further down the controller. So sometimes I find it hard to the drop shot is very easy because your hand sits higher up. Because your hand sits lower down, I don't know, it's like my finger doesn't get the right position. And the fact that I've been with that one now for about 3 months, so I've lost a bit of that. The minute you press the trigger, you drop shot and whatever else. But overall impressions, I do like it. It's very good. It does, even though I've just said that, it does feel well made. The pad is indestructible. This grip is fantastic. It's just that internal is there. I would like to get this trigger a little bit shorter down, but that grub screw feels and looks as if I do it anymore, the grub screw will actually fall out and fall inside the controller. So at the minute, I think it's just a slight little press and brings it up. There you go, little Scuf ONE logo. But overall, I do like it. I should do for the money. They're not cheap. But if you want to improve your game, I highly recommend you try, if you've got the money, invest in a Scuf controller. It's helped my game an absolute million. My KD is going up a little bit. I'm not down as much because I'm able to get out of the way of enemies a lot quicker, but obviously by utilising, one of the paddles to suit. So if you're thinking about Scuf ONE controller, I do highly recommend it. The Scuf Grip as they call it, that is a massive must, is that. It just helps keep your hands stuck to the back of it as well. You can get an extra 2 paddles on there, but to be honest, I think because they're that close together, I think you'll be pressing that one rather than that one, and I think 2 is enough, to be honest. So there you go, guys. Scuf ONE. You want to improve your game, definitely give it a try, and I honestly don't think you're great. Control freaks as well. I know you can get the dome sticks and the higher sticks, but with everything rubber, it starts to wear down. Like on my normal Xbox One, the corners already start to go a little bit there. So if you get the dome sticks in and they start to wear down, you'd have to buy a brand new dome stick, and I don't know what Scuf would charge. So this is why I just use the control freaks. If this wears down, I've got a spare because you get 2, and this is the same height as what those long sticks are. Me personally, keep to the normal sticks and just buy the control freaks to put on top. Overall, and over its life cycle, it will probably work out a hell of a lot cheaper. Anyway, guys, that was the final bit. I hope you enjoy. If you do, please leave a like on the video. Please subscribe to my channel for some more Call of Duty, possible reviews in the future, and a bit of Titanfall as well. So there you go, guys. Xbox Scuf ONE. Hope you enjoy.